Well, hello there. There are No Finish Line Nation and all the peeps looking at the YouTube videos and the podcast and all the different venues that I send this out to. It's been a few days since I've done a coffee talk, and it's good to be back in the chair. I had a lot going on this weekend, exciting stuff, good stuff, family stuff, and just everything in general. So it's good to be back, and I just wanted to go over a couple things that has been on my mind. You know, in the past, I sat down and I talked a lot about doing your best, right? And so one of the things that I thought about the other day was we were watching a movie, and again, it's referenced in all kinds of different sports movies and all kinds of different sports venues where you hear people say, do your best, or something to the effect of, I did my best, or any of those types of topics. And a lot of people will tell you that your best, sometimes it's relative, or the best can be just different versions of whatever it is that you're trying to be able to accomplish. And one of the things that I noticed is we were at the beach yesterday, and I was thinking about this topic, and I was thinking about how I coach my son and different situations, and he did such a good weekend. We had guests over, all kinds of stuff, and he did such a good job, and he was just so gentlemanly, and he was cordial and stuff. And he's a pretty amazing kid for a 12-year-old. You figure that he's probably in his early 20s and, very mature for his age, but I'm so proud of him. So, and one of the things that we were talking about, he asked the question, and we were at the beach yesterday, the wife, myself, and he were at the beach, and we were looking at this little hermit crab, really small little crab that was on the beach. And he was looking at it and he was checking it out, and the hermit crab was trying to run as fast as he could, and the hermit crab was going from the shoreline into the ocean. Now my son said that hermit crab right there is doing the best that he can. I mean, look at him. He's running for the hills, but he's covering a lot of ground, and he's given everything he's got to be able to get there. Now, we're sitting there talking, and we're having a conversation about doing your best, and school's starting soon, and it's kind of referred into that. And every time that we get an opportunity to, as a parent, to sit down with your child and have a conversation around tie in some of the things that you might be seeing into real life experiences, or where you're going as you're heading into school, is always a great opportunity to be able to do so. So we had some great dialogue and good conversation. But my dialogue and conversation with you guys is going to be around similar things, around doing your best. That little hermit crab that was scurrying and trying to run for the ocean to get in there because, maybe his little claws were, hot, or maybe he had an objective to get to, maybe she had kids to get to, or whatever else. So what she was doing is she was running for the ocean, but doing her best. She was giving her every best effort to be able to get there. Now, whenever we hear the term in our health journey, and we hear the term in our professional journeys, or whatever we're looking at to be able to improve in our lives, and we hear people say, do your best, or apply everything you've got to doing your best, what exactly is the best? That's a question we should all ask ourselves. Because if you think about it, think about what your best is. What 9 times out of 10, what we compare our goals and our achievements to are other people. So, for instance, if we are a sports player and we want to be the best on the court, we want to be able to score higher than everybody else. We want to be able to, hit the most free throws, or go for the most 3-point shots. Or if we are at work, we want to be able to be on time all the time. And you have attendance records, you have different stuff that you want to be able to get to. So you want to beat out your competitors, beat out your folks that you're working with. But the real true meaning of doing your best is not comparing yourself to others. Think about it. If you're comparing yourself to other people, is that really your best? Because a lot of times whenever we fail, or we drop off, or we don't really necessarily execute on the things that we really want to do, a lot of it is because we are comparing ourselves to other people. When doing your best really should be about yourself. What is your best? What is your effort level? What is your amount of effort that you can put into something? Not comparing yourself to other people, but what is your best? What is the version of you that you want to be able to capitalize, maximize, and do everything that you can do to be the best version of you that is out there? We compare so much. When you're growing up, what do? You read magazines, you see Cosmopolitan magazines, or you'll see Men's Health magazines, or you'll see whatever else, Rolling Stone magazines, or whatever else that's there, and you see all these actors and these sports people and whatever else, and we're always in comparison with those folks. And a lot of times what happens is that we're let down because we're not meeting the expectation of what they are, because we figure that that's the best. No, those folks that are gifted and those folks that are out there just kind of doing some pretty crazy and wild things out there, they're doing the best version of themselves. They're not comparing themselves to other people, right? Or they might be, but think about it. If you want to get to where you want to go, you got to be the best version of who you are. Don't compare yourself to other people. It's hard not to do, because we're in a society that's built around, if I'm going to look at my body, or I'm going to look at my image, or I'm going to look at different stuff, and then I just turn around. I can just turn on the TV, or I go to work or school or anywhere, and guess what I see? I see somebody that I'm comparing myself to because they might be skinnier than me. They might have their hair done better than I do. They might have makeup that's on point. They might be weightlifting much more than I do. They might be able to make it to the gym 5 days a week, and I can only make it to one. Things in general that happen in life, we got to stop comparing ourselves to others. You have to change the mold of what we've been brought up and what we've been given in our lives. As children, we're taught from very small ages to compare ourselves to other people. We have to stop that. Do your best. And when we say do your best, be the best version of you. One of the things that I talk about a lot of times on Coffee Talk, and one of the reasons that I always say the date, like today is August 21st, 2017, and I write it into the Coffee Talk on Connect platform and on No Finish Line Nation, is because we talk about being the best version of ourselves today, making it the best August 21st, 2017 that you've ever experienced. And so when we look at this, we have to tell ourselves, what are we going to do today to make our day the best day? And when we focus on that, we can focus on incremental, small amounts of things that we can just be better than we were yesterday and continue to elevate our performance, not in comparison. We're not judging. There's nobody looking at us. We know what our best version of us is. I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, the amount of weight that I've lost total, a little bit on my own, a little bit on Weight Watchers, different stuff that I've done in my journey. And what happens is a lot of times I start to beat myself up a little bit. I start to think a little bit too much at it, right? And then I'm comparing myself to, let's say, for instance, some of the other guys that I know that are doing the same program that I am. And I'm reaching out to them and I see that they've lost, 150 pounds, 200 pounds, those kind of things. And not to say that I needed to lose that amount of weight, but you start to compare yourself. You start to have a comparison thing. And then when you see people doing their weigh-ins and you could see that they lost 1 pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 2 pounds, 1 pound over and over again, and it's consistent, you start getting in your own head, because guess what I'm doing then? I'm comparing myself to them. And I can't. This is my journey. This is all me. I've got to stay in my lane and know exactly what I'm doing. I need to stay parked right here to say to myself, there's my vision of who I am. This is who I want to be. And this is how I'm going to be the best version of myself, to make sure that I can set myself up to be able to succeed at whatever it is that I'm trying to succeed at. No comparison. Got to stop. I do it all the time. And that's why I'm sharing this, because as we thought about that little hermit crab, as we saw that little bad boy running into the ocean, I'm thinking to myself, right now, he really doesn't care about anything else other than the fact that he's going to get to his goal, and he's going to push himself to the limits that he can push himself to and be the best version that he can be to get to where he's got to go at that moment in time. Mindset, focused, ready, set, go. And I don't think that we do that enough. I think we do too much comparison. I think we let life get in the way. I think that we beat ourselves up. I think that we look in the mirror and we say to ourselves, I'm not like Joe Schmo down the road. And I say the comparison piece because it happens all the time. And that's something that for me is a hard thing for me to handle. Not to say that I want to be like them in general, but it's because other people may set the tone of what a guy might look like or what a guy might do with health journeys. And if I'm not moving as fast or quick or, moving right along as they are, it starts to really get in my head, and the butterflies start going into the head and the mental monkeys start happening. So today, try to change the game on that one. Try to change how you think about yourself. And then I know we've been talking a lot about the mental capacity and how we're treating ourselves. But today, compare yourself to you. Don't think of others when you're thinking of your journey. Don't look at others and compare. We always talk about putting a picture of yourself on the mirror, or putting a picture of your before and after, or put your whys on the mirror, or put down the positive things or different stuff. Because all this focus is on you. And if you can focus on you and you can concentrate on being the best version of you that you can be, how can you not succeed? One of the reasons you might not be able to, or think you might not be able to, is because you sell yourself short. And you are much more worthy than what you might be giving yourself credit for. And I think that you can achieve anything you set your mind to, as long as you are trying to be the best version of yourself. And you don't let the waters get muddied or the air get cloudy, and you get into a space where you are negative about the whole entire situation just based on the fact that you are comparing yourself to other people. So that's what my thoughts were today. I hope you guys resonate with what I'm talking about here today, because I think that a lot of us do this, and I think a lot of us need to change that game. We need to change the momentum of where we're at with comparison and make sure that we are staying in our lane and doing the things that we need to do. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll talk later. Thanks.